Good morning and welcome to the Joseph Apartments Talk Show, episode number 73. It says 72, but it's actually 73. And we were in about 20 different social media sites that this show is on. Our first guest today is Mr. Christopher Joseph. He is in charge of Joseph residential side, and he's going to give us an update on what's going on in the single-family market in Southern California.
Good morning. So what we have right now in the market is pretty much it's a low inventory, thus we have a kind of a standstill. And so what we have now is the biggest reason for the low inventory is you got 84% of current mortgages, so current homeowners have a rate 5% or less. And with rates around 6.7 today, they just don't have a need to sell and then jump into the buyer pool at a higher rate and all that. So they don't have a need to sell financially. And then you have a low supply of homes, of new homes being built. So those two things are forcing the low inventory. And then with high rates, you have buyers just wanting to sit on the sideline, understandably, and wait for rates to drop. So what I see is if you're selling right now, price it right. If you price it right, there is demand there. There's less competition out on the market. So price it right, and you're going to be able to have a sort of a bidding war, if you will, or a chance of a bidding war if you price it right. If you look at your neighbor's home that sold 6 months ago and price it at that, you're going to be disappointed and you're going to say nothing's selling. So price it right. If you're looking to buy, get with the lender. Get a plan with the lender. That's first and foremost. Look at your financials, where you're going to be in a year. What's your 5-year and 10-year plan? Look things over with the lender, and then reach out to me, a dad, or your go-to realtor if you're not in the area. And then once you have a plan from your lender, reach out to your realtor and discuss that game plan and go forward with that. So, yeah.
What do you see going forward? Any trends you see? I mean, that's today's snapshot.
Right.
If you had to put a crystal ball and we made you guess, what do you think? 2 months, 3 months?
Just in my opinion, from what I'm studying, is we're gonna see rates kind of get lower and then rise and lower and rise, and it's gonna be a step down where we're not going to see a sharp where it's 6.7 and then 5, in a month. You're going to see a 6.5, then back up to 6.6, and then a 6.3. So you're going to see a slow decline in rates, but it's not going to be a sharp decline in rates. So, and we're seeing that over probably the next year and a half.
If the viewers want to find a good single-family realtor, how do they get a hold of you?
562-760-4587, and then my email is chrisjosephrealestate@gmail.com.
Thank you, Chris. Next, we have a state-certified appraiser who is our guest. But what is your son's name?
James Joseph.
Awesome. What a great
Cruz.
name. What a great name for a son.
James Joseph Cruz. Yeah.
Can you tell us what's going on in the world of appraisals?
Yes, the market, as Chris alluded to, the market is going down. It's steadily going down, and it's with interest rates rising and the inflation increasing. The market's pretty flat, but it's strange that people out there still have money, and they're still willing to pay the high price for property. But lately, I have had to kill deals because, based on the market value, it doesn't compute mathematically. So, even though buyers are willing to pay the higher prices, as an appraiser, I can't appraise that value because the market doesn't bear that. And so, people are still willing to pay, and still willing to pay the high interest rate, and but they don't qualify. The house doesn't qualify for what they're willing to pay for it. So that's what I see. I think, like Chris says, I think it'll start. I think it's going to still go down. It might pick up a little bit and go down. I think it'll have that trend. But I think this year, the real estate market will have a downward trend.
Let me ask you a question. On the deals that you've killed personally, what percent is the gap between what a buyer and seller are willing to pay and when you come in? How big of a gap is that? Just the last couple of deals, if you've had to ballpark it.
It's about mathematically,
More than
about 10%.
10%.
Yeah.
The second question is from the peak of the market, let's say June of last year, the peak, to what you think is the bottom. What percent do you think that'll be from the absolute peak to when we bottom out? What percent would you think that would be as an appraiser if you had to guess?
If I had to guess, I would say 30-40%.
30 to 40%. You know, a lot of times as apartment owners, you need to have an appraisal for your trust or an attorney or someone recommends, requires that. So I think, Joseph, you could provide a good service for our clients when they're looking to find, you know, an objective third party assessing your assets. If there's a death, you know, that replies.
Yeah, we can, as you know, anytime you want to know what your house is worth, you can give me a call. I actually printed out this. This is
Good for you. Hold that up for a while.
Joe Cruz. Appraisal Hub is my company name, and my number is 951-522-6349. And the website is admin@appraisalhub.com.
Thank you. Do you also do apartments and commercial, or are you mainly
Just
single family?
residential.
Residential, no single family.
Single family and 4 units and less.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Next we have Lisa Weber. Lisa, what's new in the apartment business?
Not too much too new. Same old. If you're an apartment owner and you want to know how much your property is worth, give me a call and I will get some information from you and figure out how much your apartment building is worth in today's market.
How do we reach you?
562-236-0088.
And your email address?
Lweber, LWEEBER @gmail.com.
Thanks for watching the Joseph Apartments Talk Show. We will see you next month.